going on, guys? Dan here, DSP Shop, 57 Chevy, small oil leak. But based on how it thinned out as it went across, means it's not continuing to leak. It was a simple overfill, I'm hoping. So, the plan today, this hot rod is driving out of here under its own power. No matter what, ifs, ands, or buts. It won't be wired properly by any means, and it won't be 100% roadworthy, but it can go outside and be free, be with its friends. No, what we're gonna do is this thing has to get out of here so we can bring the Camaro back in, and actually that Ford truck has to go in the other garage for a little bit of love. So it's a schmozzle, but we have lots of screwing around to do. We have to get the seats mounted properly because they're just sitting in there. The column is, well, she's not even bolted in there, so we gotta get that taken care of. We have to get throttle pedal. Actually, this morning we went out, Danny had on her channel there, we had to get a throttle pedals. This is a factory Tri-5 one, so thank you, sir, John. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Be a bit tricky. I probably should have done that before the motor and tunnel ram and all that was in, but such is life. Get that in there, make up some sort of linkage, return spring. We'll just have this thing running hot wired. That'll be good. I do want to get the headlights mounted. I have headlights on all trim rings. Get that in. I was actually supposed to get a grill today, so we'll see if I get that. I can get the grill and the turn signals and all that in the front. Put the hood back on. Underneath, we got to give it a bit of an alignment. It's, well, it has no alignment, so we just got to make sure the wheels are somewhat straight. Get that dialed. I do want to make sure, make sure we know what the leak is on the transmission. Get up in the air, take a look at it. The rear end, we got to check the oil in it, and I do have the part of the stuff. I got some cable to make the e-brake work. I think I might hook that up. We'll see at least what we're working with, if I can make the e-brake work or what I have to modify and go from there. Otherwise, I'd like to put the taillights in with the lenses. Just some little odds and ends, because again, this thing's going to sit outside. And I mean, honestly, it does look like a car, so I'm not too concerned about it. But it'd be nice if we could have it look like a car, run and drive. Spring is kind of here. It is very cold today and actually windy, snowy ugliness. But next couple of weeks, we should be having spring. So there's not a whole lot left to do this thing. But my goal was by the end of March, or about halfway there, to have this car run and drive on its own power. Even if we're cheating, I still want it running and driving on its own power. And the Camaro might be a little far-fetched. We do have a pile of parts for it, but it does need a few days of body work and paint. And then putting motor, trans, all that in, the screw around that can end up being. But I'd like to get it together as well and, sit on a milk crate and be able to drive it. But yeah, this thing looks cool. It does run. I'm happy with it. It has oil pressure. We put it in gear and, move back, move forward just a couple inches so we know the drive line is decent. The rear end was out of that little Chevy too, so it had a few miles on it. Didn't make any bad noise, so I'm sure it's fine. We'll see if it takes a beating or not, and yeah. What else we got going on? We'll figure it all out. The plan is to get that done today, and then maybe tomorrow morning, hopefully the weather will be a little nicer. Take it for a ride around the block, plunk it outside, and start moving cars. So I think I'm going to get the gas pedal in first just because it's new and exciting, and that's what I'm ready to do. So the way these work, this sits through the firewall. It's bolted right on this little flange, has a little bushing in there. As you push this rod down, it has a little lever. This is under the hood, and she just pulls. Just that simple. So let's see if we can make that happen. Then we got to push this thing forward, get it up on the lift, and just start working our way either front to back or back to front until it's fixed. It's kind of what I do every day, actually, but let's do the fun stuff first. Okay, so we got the old girl up in the air. I checked the leak transmission, and it's coming from the top of the case, so I think that's the vent, or we split the case, but I think it's fine. So now what we're gonna do, well, I've already done this side. I'm gonna just kind of show you. So these are the back brakes. Now this is the rear end that was originally in that Chevy 2, which we turned into a gasser in the fall. And around these parts. To get a car on the road, you have to go through an inspection and all that. And I didn't know what I was going to do with the car at the time, so we rebuilt the rear end that was in it, which was a waste of money as it turned out, because we put a 9-inch in the old girl. But as you can see, I mean, it's been sitting outside, but I put new axle seals in. It obviously has new wheel cylinders, brand new brakes, and I even put new drums on it, for crying out loud. And then it sat outside and got all rusty. But anyways, that's the plan there. Where did I put the piece? Oh, so when I removed it from the Chevy 2, I was pretty careless, or whatever you want to call it. The e-brake was, in fact, working, but I sliced it, cut it off, and this is what was left. So that's junk. So I had to take all the brakes apart, and the e-brake goes in first. Now, the Tri-5s are very simple. They have, the e-brake's actually a loop, so it's one continuous cable. Some of the later model stuff have a cable that goes like a rear cable, then an intermediate cable, and then a front cable. Tri-5s only have two. They have a front cable and a rear cable. So, very simple. The only thing you want to make sure when you do this is you loop it the right way, so it has to go up over the leaf spring. In this case, it's going to go under the drive shaft. I don't know, maybe other cars are different, and it'll go in. So don't just hook it up wheel to wheel and then realize, oh, it's not where I want it to be, and then you're either taking the brakes apart, dropping a leaf spring, taking out the drive shaft, pick your thing. A loop, it's hard to disconnect a loop. Anyway, so we're gonna get these both connected in there. Nice thing about this, everything fits GM stuff, so all just worked. We might have enough, if I go up close enough, it'll be right where that handle is. I might be able to just modify that handle with an extension and a clamp, and all that happens is basically somewhere in the middle of the loop, we're gonna pull on it, and as you pull, it's gonna equally pull on each side here, which in turn will pull the brake. Now it's gonna be hard to see. I don't know if we can even kind of get in here, but I'm sure a lot of you guys know the way a drum brake works. You have your top wheel cylinder. As you press the brake, it separates, and that's what ultimately gives you braking power. Now, the park brake, emergency brake, there's a little rod or bar, I guess. This bar right here runs across, and see it's right below the wheel cylinder. As you pull on this, well, I guess it'd be the end of this cable I should do. As you pull on that, what it's going to do is actuate a lever, which will then force this bar apart, which ultimately does the exact same thing mechanically. So that's all we're trying to accomplish. This should work just cherry. I'm going to get the other side all apart, and once it's looped, I'll show you what I'm talking about for the e-brake, but I think it would work out just cherry. And then while we're back here, we'll use the light. We'll ground the fuel pump, and then we'll just run a 12-volt wire to the front, and then I think we'll put just a couple of little connectors on the hose there. Really, that's all we got to do back here. Oh, fuel tank's leaking, 57s of a drain plug, and there's a vent tube, which I'm going to go ahead and block that. Yeah, pretty simple stuff. Actually worked out really good. Bit of a hassle taking the brakes all the way apart, but hey, you can never inspect your brakes too often. So, a bunch of boring stuff later, but, you know, just chipping away. So we tightened up the drain plug, put a cap on this add-on vent that was put in there. This was a tank that was modified for EFI, so it was just a return. There's a separate vent there, as well as you can just get a vented cap on these, so you're no big deal. We have the fuel line kind of routed away, so that's pretty good. I think I'm happy with it. This is the e-brake. So you can see it has these little tabs it fits in, goes forward. All I did was I made an extension there, and I put a turnbuckle on it, and that's about that. May have to tighten it up a little bit. That turnbuckle might have to be modified, but for now, I think it's okay. What else did I do? Well, I ran a power wire to the front from the fuel pump, but so the brakes spin easy. I can't really reach in there, unfortunately, so we'll have to drop her down, and it's a bit awkward. Unfortunately, these Tri-5s, when you lift, take all the weight off, the drive shaft hangs and it runs on the e-brake cable, which happens on all of them. It's a freaking pain in the butt. So we'll see how much we can get. I guess that's kind of hitting something, but that's that. And now, yeah, she's good enough. And then drop her down. And she's spinny. So, I don't know, seems to work. Up next, we'll mount the seats. Get those in. So that's taken care of. Clean the junk out of here a little bit. Then lights on, trim on. I want to glue all that on for tonight. Let that kind of set up, and then tomorrow will be test drive time. So I think I put the wheels back on. Just get everything once over on the suspension. Make sure the rear end's locked down. Everything's kind of good. It's just working. I will have to put the hood on. Actually, I do have some modification up front now. I'm thinking about it. Get that core sport kind of dialed together. But yeah, let's get these seats knocked out. It's pretty boring. Well, I've hit a few roadblocks, and I know this video is kind of just clip after clip me saying what I'm doing, but it's just, you can't, it's boring, tedious, end of the road stuff, which I'm sure you guys all know. I cobbled together a linkage. I mean, it's just literally baling wire, but I have to, you know, figure something out there. I don't have a carb return spring. I totally forgot, and you can see. That's not great, so whatever. The biggest issue I ran into is the seat. So it's off to the side because of the emergency brake, and this is that's a wide seat. So we could change it. I do have, you know, smaller buckets there. I have a ratty set actually outside, a couple sets outside, which I can put in. But now we're kind of, I don't know, in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't want to blow the budget. So I bolted that one down. I didn't bolt that one down just in case I'm not keeping it. So that's unfortunate. I was hoping it would work out a little bit better. I can try to maybe bend the emergency brake over a little bit, but I don't want to get interfering with the drive shaft. So endless problems there. I did wire up the Muromatic starter inside, but I just kind of, you know, it's pretty cobbled. I just taped a few wires together. I made sure I ran a block to the frame wire, ground wire and stuff like that. So this is now, fuel pump is in there, as well as the magic box, and then we just have the ground and whatnot all kind of working. So, I don't know. Unfortunately, I need more parts. I got to put the headlights in, but I think I'm going to take a break for tonight. I'm going to leave on a win, I hope, fingers crossed. The transmission works and it goes in and out of gear. So that's always sweet. It's going to rev to the moon because there is no, you know, carb return spring, obviously. But we'll see if we can make this happen. We'll lift it up so if we have any issues, can't really go nowhere. But it should start from inside, and I can sit. So yeah, the seat is just, it's a little off. I don't know. It could be worse, I guess. Okay. Pumping everything on. So it revs fast. Runs fast there, but it works. I'm happy with that. Goes in and out of gear. Something felt like it smacked pretty hard, but it probably is revving a couple thousand RPM. What the heck is smoking here? A little oil on the header. Hopefully that's all. There's transmission oil everywhere on this thing. Somebody really buggered that up, but disconnect the battery. Tomorrow I'll have to get return spring for sure. We'll see how we want to do with the seat. We might just kind of put a pin in that. Put the headlights in, tail lights in, you know, take a few little things off. Probably just drive with the hood off for right now. I do got to trim the hood a little bit to fit around the radiator and stuff. Oh, I got to get a rad cap, which I do have. And yeah, a few little odds and ends. It'd be nice if this thing would just leave on its own. How sweet would that be? The weather's terrible, it's snowing today. Come on, March, give me some good weather. But yeah, come back tomorrow, get a few things dialed. drive this thing around, and then it's the old car shuffle. This out, Camaro in, truck in, this left outside. Hopefully it goes around the block. That's a nice place to put a pin in it for a little bit. New day. Let's get the girl running, put the tail lights in. Just letting it kind of idle up, get a little bit of heat. So the smoke here is because there's no dipstick tube, so we'll put that in there. I want to double check all the headers, make sure they're all tight. We do have a coolant leak. As you can see, drip, drip, drip. Come from the water pump, so we'll have to deal with that at some point. Hey, look, a rad cap. Put the headlights in. I don't have any hardware for the bezels, so we'll just have that for now. And then I put on a turn spring, which is pretty janky, but it matches the throttle cable. But it returns-ish. So we'll just let this thing kind of warm up a little, clean the rest of the junk out, and then you think that's coolant? Water? Oh, you know what? Maybe the exhaust just had a bunch of water in it since it was stored outside, eh? Well, I guess we'll find out. Oh, maybe the turn spring's not so good. Definitely not. All right, well, let this thing warm up a little. We'll see if it'll go for a quick ride around the block. It's a car. Okay, well, pretty big moment. We'll see this thing drives for the first time, and who knows. We're just gonna do a quick ride around the block. Very, very middle. It's honestly, it's just so freaking cold out. I don't want to be outside right now. The tires might be an issue. It's got like slicks front and back, so we'll see. Hopefully this thing rolls over the lift too. I don't know if I had to lift it high with the tow truck or not, so are you excited? Danny's seat is not attached, so she might be a little cranky, but she'll be fine. Okay, ignition. Okay, drive. Oh yeah.
It's so icy.
I know, it's crazy.
Whoa.
Watch the seat. There we go. Okay. Huh. I left the tow truck running.
Good idea.
Got a miss on this side, I can hear. Alright. We're driving.
Brad, when was the last time this car was on the road?
Well, it's been on the road lots on the back of a tow truck.
But on its own power.
Oh, I think it's been a while. Oh, maybe it's okay. Feels okay. Doesn't smell even too burny. There was a pile of oil there. There's no dipstick tube, so I just jammed one in there. Honestly, I mean, we're not going very fast, but it's not all over the place. It's gonna be loud and obnoxious. It already feels drony. Oh yeah, brakes. We got brakes. Forgot about that. Didn't even check them. I was confident.
We let them know, didn't we?
Who knows? First. Oh, it's got no vacuum to the transmission. That makes sense.
So what does that mean?
Means it's not going to shift. Well, yeah, it went a second. It's not very happy. I forgot about that. I meant to do that. You know, those meant to's and don't do's, they really add up sometimes.
Well, it smells a little dirty now.
Yeah. I think it's just on your side, we're fine. Just turn around right quick here. Ooh, that's a icy disaster. Hopefully that should stop burning off the header. Think I should hit the signals that don't work? Tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick, tick. Oh. Oh, I only had it in a second. Thought we did a reverse there for a second. I was like, well, we're pushing. You know, remember this was the same motor that was in the yellow car? Remember how crappy it was and didn't want to move or anything?
Yeah.
Now it actually has some power. So obviously it was whatever the injection thing was. Ooh. Made some sort of noise there, rattly rattle. I wonder what could be rattling. I assume it's the motor, but everything else is super tight here. All right, well.
Honestly, not bad.
No, not bad. The only, I mean, I knew the motor was a gamble when I tossed it in there because it was out of that car that had apparently been overheated a bunch, but since it was just kind of an experiment, the motor is whatever, 500 bucks, we can change that in a weekend if we have to. Everything else is what? The fact that it goes down the road straight after being like so bent up and mangled and all sorts of stuff.
I have to tell you, I'm very proud of you on this one.
You know, what's not to be proud of? Okay, so we'll dump this thing. And then what we gotta do is move stuff around. So we gotta move the Camaro in the other garage. Oh god, traffic. I feel like I should use hand signals. So, actually we can show all the parts I bought. This thing turns good actually. I was worried it doesn't have full radius because of the oil pan. I'll just turn it off. Right on. Okay, let's go look at the parts in the garage.
I need you to get me out.
Oh, I might need you to get me out. Oh, geez, it's icy. Gentle, gentle. Gentle. Mademoiselle.
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
Wow, car's outside.
Good.
Yeah, it's leaking coolant, otherwise I think we're mint. So the plan is we gotta get this thing in the garage. We'll walk a little faster. So we gotta do musical chairs because that truck is actually gonna get lettered up. But in here, oh, I guess we'll have to just be careful, but try not to show all of our personal information. So we got piles of parts. Holly had that 20% off sale, so I got scatter sealed headers, clutch, distributor, intake manifold. Actually, I don't even know. I didn't even open all this stuff, but I'm pretty sure. So all this is for this. Remember this Camaro? Feels like we haven't worked on it in months, but so the plan now is sweep the junk out of the way in the other garage. It's a hell of a mess, but I just wanted to do that. We'll dump this in there, then truck in here, call that a day. Then next video is body work on this thing. So we're gonna go ahead and just fog it satin black as quickly as we possibly can. And then transmission and motor are still over at Corvette John's, or actually Cecil's place, so we gotta go over there and then start assembling because we got 2 weeks. I'd like this thing to be running and driving the same capacity as that. Clearly not finished, but you know, runner driver. Actually, we got to go chop the hood up and put that on that thing too. Brake.
Well, icy there.
Sure, a little slick. Gotta put a block of wood under the wheel or something so I can kind of back into it. As I recall, the wheels aren't straight either, but the back wheel, when I was towing it last time, one of the studs was falling out and jamming the brakes, so this one wheel wasn't spinning, so I dragged it around the block, dragging one wheel on the ice. So we'll see what happens. Expert tow guy. Ish. Shut up. I'm the best tow guy we have available right now for the cost I'm doing it for.
Yes.
That's right. Basically nailed it. Okay, yeah, right in line with the diff. Ish. Oh. You know, I bet if I did this every day, it'd be a lot better. Okay. Whoops, the wrong way. You get them both?
Yeah.
Snug.
Yeah, you got it.
Snug. Not bad.
This would be way easier with the trailer.
Oh. You know what? You know what we should do is live. Let's go rent one from U-Haul, all the screwing around, all that. Oh, somebody dented the tailgate here. I wonder if I did that. I wonder if I turned something in there. It looks like about a Tri-5 fin might have whacked it. Surprising, I'm so generous and nice to this thing all the time. What? So unfortunately, well, I'm not skilled enough, but we gotta have the truck going down the back lane that way so we can back in the garage, so we gotta do a roundabout town right quick. So I'll strap it down and then we'll come back maybe when we're backing it in. Sounds like a plan?
Sounds like a plan. That was impressive.
You know, some girls like a guy with a lot of money.
That was the best you've ever done it. And it was so fast.
Well, it's a snatch truck. It's all about the repo. But again, a trailer, way better.
Way better.
Man, is this truck handy. You know, a smart guy probably would have cleaned all the transmission oil and stuff like that first. Has to go up. Nailed it. What a handy unit, eh? $2 grand, remember the only thing for it? Am I gonna hit the car?
Yep.
I guess the old angle part. Why is it stuck?
I don't know.
Oh, the wheel's stuck. Remember how I said that
Oh,
earlier?
yeah.
That's probably why. Okay, I'll go dump this thing in the street. We'll bring the 57 around. We gotta chop that hood real quick, just a little brace. Dump that on the 57, and then that's weather tight. Be cool, 257 Chevys back here.
You need me to move the Bobcat?
Yeah, here with the Bobcat. Thank you. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now, and it is a freaking disaster of ice out here. So now what I have to do, what do that noise is?
Something good, I bet.
Something good? So, probably ran into was this little brace. Should probably just zing off actually, but the rad hoses is different, so I gotta zip a little bit out of there or unbolt it. You can try that too, maybe. Okay, so I just cut a little brace out. Actually, I unbolted it. And I just noticed when I was looking at this thing, all these little studs coming through the hood. Obviously, that little teardrop is bolted down, not just glued on. So that's pretty sweet. So it's all cracked. I was like, oh, how's this gonna end? All right. So now,
Careful on the ice.
Yes, careful on the ice. Should fit. I feel like it's on the carburetor.
It is, yeah.
Whatever, we're not driving it. Oh, just take a step back and look at it. It looks sweet. I gotta say, when I fired the motor up, something was really rattly. So we'll see what that is. If it decides to go, it will carry on. I mean, if it needs a motor, that's no big deal. Now that's all together, originally I was trying to do it on the cheap, and I think I made my point about, cheap hot rods. Actually, this one, when I said how cheap it was, a lot of people didn't even call me out. I think I might have been pretty accurate on the pricing for once. But now that it looks like this, I know it's poser stuff, but I kind of want to put a big camshaft just so it has a gnarly idle. Like, I think that'd be kind of cool. It has like a drag and drive, ratty, crappy vibe to it, and I really dig it. Oh, the tires hit the headers. That's why it was a little tough to steer. So I'll have to dent those a little bit, but yeah, it's fine. It goes good straight, and it stopped. Had reverse. So this is going to sit outside for a couple of weeks. Let season get acclimated to the outside. Now it's a running, driving car again. Well, this thing's in. I've walked by this thing like the last 2 weeks every single day, and I've been kind of motivated to work on it again. It's really nice. I know switching projects, sometimes it drives you guys nuts. I don't finish something right to the nth degree, but we still got another month of crap weather, unfortunately. So there's no rush, everything right done. So plan for this, like I said, we'll bad chat it a little bit, scuff it all down. It's going to get a ratty paint job on it right quick. Put the glass back in it. I got to order a windshield actually. I'll do that next week. Get that dialed, and then that motor, transmission, all those speed parts, I'll probably be trucking those over here, stack them all up. Like I said, the motors, it's at Cecil's there. Those guys let me store it there, which is just super nice of them, because doing body work with the fresh motor, sitting on the ground, probably not the plan, and I know how I am. I'd use it as a workbench and all that. So we got a pile of cleanup to do here, but one chapter ends, another one starts. That's kind of cool. Got this thing kind of sorted a little bit, park it a little bit nicer, and that's it for now. So next video, which you'll see in a couple of days, will be loving my life sanding. I'm not gonna lie, we're not gonna do much. I'm gonna rough it up, and I'm gonna fog it, and we'll deal with it later, because ultimately it will lend up a color when I sell it to the new owner. Thanks for watching. I think it's a keeper. I like it. Oh, let me out. Nailed it.